Very good everybody, welcome to another video. I am your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko and I will be your captain for today's flight. And today's flight, let's have a look outside. You can see we're at the Nikola Tesla International Airport for Belgrade in Serbia. And we'll be flying the Fenix A320 from Belgrade Airport to Tivat in Montenegro. Let's have a look what they're waiting for. Open the aft cargo and open forward cargo. It's just it is not having it, so probably just need to power up the aircraft. So let's just start doing that immediately. I'll explain to you in a second what actually is going on. We're using the GSX menu there. So we got ground power available, so we're just going to turn that on. The strobe can go on, the nav lights can go to one setting there. We'll do crew oxygen supply, ground control, and let's load up the navigation. The aircraft sort of knows where it is sitting. So open aft cargo and open the forward cargo. Basically I check it here to forward cargo, aft cargo. We'll look outside if it's actually doing anything. Not look like it. Probably the aircraft system need to pressurize or whatever it's working. Just see if we can close them and open them again. Perhaps that will trigger some kind of movement right there. You can see it looks like it's working, so we do not get the annoying beeping. So, alright, so that's the aircraft coming alive. So as you can see, we're at the Nikola Tesla Airport. Recently installed the upgrade from Flight Sim.tl. Go check it out. It's free and it looks really nice. You can see the real airport here, and there's a bunch of other Air Serbia standing there. So, as I said, we'll be flying from Belgrade to Tivat airport. It should be about a 1 hour and 15-minute flight or so altogether, I believe, cruising at 19,000 feet. We will be using real-world time and real-world weather as usual. Actually, just let me double-check if that is actually the case. I believe it was. I guess it could never hurt to check live weather real time. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So just chilling here. Well, the aircraft is being loaded up. The passengers, you can actually see the passengers, I believe. I'll probably need a free camera to do this, but you can see the passengers walking through the jetway there. I guess we can maybe see them from here, or we cannot. Are they not there? I hope anyone's flying, you know. In any case, we'll be flying shortly. We're expecting 111 passengers for today. So let's see if there's anything we can do with the GSX menu in terms of loading up. We can request the catering service. We can hand out sandwiches and all kinds of beverages, like rakia and you know what I mean. Anyway, let's also request the refueling, and I believe it should refuel according to the flight plan that we created with the sim brief. The baggage is being loaded at the moment. And so we're running a few things at the same time here. We're using AI aircraft. I forgot the name. Plug in and so running some things in the background. So hopefully this stream will not lag up. If it will lag up, you know, it's gonna be a bit of a shame. And that looks to be the active runway for today, so that's also good to see. But anyway, let's get our asses into character here. So ATSU, let's just set this up, the MCDU here. So we got Air Serbia 812 from Lima Yankee Bravo Echo to Lima Yankee Tango Victor. And en route time should be around 40 minutes, so that is a very short flight. Data, we cannot really have the aircraft status yet. Look, it is still trying to figure out where it is, so we're just waiting for the signal for the IRS to line up. They are aligned, expect to be aligned in about 4 minutes. We'll just carry on and go to the Init A page. We request here, obviously, our flight plan information as well. We enter the flight number manually. Okay, so let's have a look at the LYBE. Cost index will be 17. Cruising altitude will be 1910. Oh, forget, man. 17 and 1910. Okay, there you go. The 17 will be the cost index, and we'll be cruising at flight level 1910. But we probably won't be cruising there for very long. You know, this being a very short flight, you know what I mean. Okay. We can probably request the winds as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So now the flight plan will be flying from Lima Yankee Bravo Echo departure. Good out of the seats, probably a runway 12 right, but let's just have a look here to make sure what they gave us. We have 12 right for runway 32. So 12 right when we're flying the Victor Alpha Lima 3 Foxtrot departure, which includes the Victor Alpha Lima, I believe, probably VOR, I'm not really sure. Airway November 732, POD to the arrival for Tivat. Okay, so Victor Alpha Lima 3 Foxtrot out of 12 right. To the right, and then the Victor Alpha Lima 3 Foxtrot, there you go. And we enter that sucker in for the standard instrument departure, and we just insert it, and it will be sitting there being all beautiful. Basically we now do the same for the arrival. And we could see the arrival will be, so there's a localizer 32, so it might not have an ILS there. It's a shame, I was like flying ILS. I'm not sure how the localizer is going to work, probably there's just a localizer and we just need to do the vertical guidance ourselves. And it was the POD 1G, 1 Juliet, I believe it was 2 Delta, but let's just double check. 2 Delta. There we go. This will be our arrival procedure, the standard instrument arrival. Okay, so it looks like the route is in. Let's see, go through it and see if there's anything funny looking. Just try again. 1 second. My plan. So out of runway 12 right. See, Bravo Echo 204, Bravo Echo 207, Victor Alpha Lima. And then we go via Callsign, Porto, Julio, Modra, Moi, Mod, and this will be our arrival. Storag, Olivo. Might be discontinuity, so we probably need to get rid of that one. We inserted. Okay, let's carry on then. Olivo goes to Taz. Sorry, 45 localizer something ML32. Well, for me it looks quite coherent. I'm good. There's a secondary flight plan. I still really have not looked into that all too much. And then for the NetB page, I guess we'll have to wait for a little bit. I'm not really sure if the aircraft is actually loading up still. We do have GPS now, we have navigation, so let's turn on the constraint on both sides. And maybe we can also check the local weather here. So the catering service is finished as well. Please don't load fuel until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it. Okay, so we just wait for the loading a little of the fuel a little bit. Have a look externally. I guess we should close these 2 baggage doors there, so they can go. Alright, and what were we doing? We were checking the weather. Looks like we're delayed about 18 minutes. The route. Okay, so this is the local weather, so we're looking at QNH 1013, and I believe that's actually the standard anyway. I believe we can just go to 190 straight away. You probably need to fly out, you know, probably need to adhere to some altitude constraints upon departure. But we're just going to take off and do our little thing here. So QNH 1013, it's already been set. So while we wait for the fuel truck, let's look outside. Looks like the fuel truck has arrived. It actually looks pretty cool, man. Look at them, animated. This looks pretty cool. Look at that. Is there anything we should do now, or is it loading fuel on the board? Is 3,000 kilograms at the moment. So let's have a look at our OFP and see what the actual fuel required is. The can use load aircraft now from Fenix EFB. Okay, so there you go. So we go to the load aircraft. Let's just do that first then. Ground services, mass imbalance, and load aircraft. Confirm load aircraft GSX. And here it says 111 passengers are planned and boarded 0, and now it's updated to 64 passengers boarded. Okay, it looks like we're doing this, so you can leave us alone for now there. So let's see, planned kilograms is 5,179. We have in the tanks currently 3,000 kilograms, so it's going to load up a little bit more fuel. Does not look like the fuel is loading yet, but you can use load aircraft from the Phoenix. Yes, basically that is what we did. We send load sheet. I don't use GSX very often. Not really sure if I'm doing everything correctly. Fuel truck is in position. Boarding passengers is going on. Catering service has been completed. Not sure if there's anything else really we can do. I'm not sure if it's not sinking or... The GSX is cool. It is, however, a little bit, I don't know, sometimes can be a little bit funny. Let's see, actually the doors are open there, and I believe earlier we closed them. So let's have a look at that. I mean, I cannot imagine it has anything to do with what we're doing now, but let's just close them anyway. Probably something to do that it will do it automatically with the GSX, but sometimes it takes a long time, and I'm not really sure what's going on. But like this is getting annoying. You can use load aircraft from the Phoenix EFB now, and I'm thinking, well, I did, you know, what do you want me to do? You know, I just did. So it's getting a little bit lame. I want to keep on hearing the little beeping sound with the notification in the top left. Basically now it's, you know, there's nothing you can do. You can no longer click loading aircraft, and GSX will keep on complaining like, hey man, you can start loading, you know, you can start loading. Like, oh, what do you mean you can start loading? You know, I already told you to load, you know what I mean. So that is a little bit annoying. Let's just click on the fuel truck position, see if that does anything. Because right now we're just going to resort to randomly pressing buttons, you know. So it's supposed to provide you with a, you know, like a immersive kind of experience, but this is obviously getting a little ridiculous. It's probably me, probably just doing something wrong. I mean, you know. Maybe have a look at the SIP settings. Let's see. GSX, look. Wait for refuel before boarding. Just randomly checking, pressing buttons now. And as you can see, there is no way to press the loading aircraft anymore, because we already clicked it, but GSX does not recognize that we clicked it, you know. So that is really getting a little bit ridiculous. Maybe just restart it, if that's going to do anything. Now we have 111 people on the board all of a sudden. And looks like we might have broken the simulator now. Well, not really, not quite, not yet. Although the menu in the top is no longer appearing. So yeah, something is definitely messed up here. Just now saying you're too late for your scheduled departure. Try another time. Well, screw you. Request refueling. Let's have a look at the fuel actually right now. We're still at 3000, so that's not what we want. Request boarding, we do not have to do that. Let's try request refueling, and then probably the... you know what? Let's just get rid of the GSX menu altogether. Stand by 1 second. Probably basically kill the entire process there. And we just use the FB. Load aircraft, and we're just going for instant right now. Aircraft loaded. There we go. Send the information to the MCDU. And let's have a look here. So this is looking fine now. Everything's filled out. We finally go to the performance page, and we should be getting ready for taxi. We go to departure performance, and we sync the weather and the load sheet. So runway 12 right, surface is dry. We're going for a flap 1 takeoff. The packs will be off, and let's have another look. So we calculate. (131, 135, 135), and we're using a flex takeoff temperature of 68. I cannot really read very well. 68. Transition altitude is 10,000 feet. So 131, 135, 10,000, and 68. So 131 for DD1, 135 for the rotate speed, which is also the 2 speed. Transition up to 10,000 feet, 1820, and then we got 68. Flex takeoff temperature, so we just entered that there as well. There we go. And it should be a flap 1 takeoff. Let's just double check here if it's actually saying that here as well. And there we go. So that looks all perfectly fine. So let's just go ahead and enter that. And then it looks like we should be ready. And looks like we got a very beautiful girl checking the stream with us. So that is always it's always an honor. You know, it's probably like a local, you know, living around the area somewhere there. You know what I mean? Just getting some notifications. You know, like, I got like fan mail like crazy. You know. Look, there you go, man. It's Carolina Avramovic. Hey, man, how are you doing? And she's sending a little heart, you know. It's the most beautiful thing, you know. Okay, so we are Air Serbia A320. And let's have a look. So it looks like everything is ready now. We'll put everything we needed to put in the MCDO, so that is all ready. So we have fuel on the board, so we can now put on the seatbelt signs. The passengers all in there. No smoking can go on. Obviously, here on the flight deck we will be smoking anyway, you know, but nobody's gonna know. And I think we should almost be ready, so maybe let's start, let's turn on the beacon lights so the ground crew can see that we're about to start our engines. And we turn on the fuel pumps, which we will be needing in a bit, obviously. And could maybe really quickly check the departure route that we're supposed to be flying. It's an RNF departure, it's fairly simple. The autopilot will just fly it for us, so that's really good. We'll be flying out of runway, are we at the correct one here? 117, we got the Volvo 3 Delta, you got the 3 Foxtrot, I believe is ours, so we'll be taking a right turn immediately. Max speed 2330 knots, and this will take us to the Volvo VOR there, and where we should be at or above 8,000 feet. But the Airbus is going to do this for us. It's a very smart airplane for very lazy pilots, so, you know, it is something a child can do while brushing his teeth and with the eyes closed. So let's close the flight deck door here. We'll just lock it, turn on the ground spoilers, and then let's get the predictive windshield on. Maybe let's just give ourselves a little score code here, like a 3121 or something, you know. And we go to TA for now. Let's put these on auto, and maybe get some integrated lights here on the panel. And by the way, if you're checking, you go check out this beautiful girl's little profile there, because she's a beautiful singer. Okay, so what else do we need before we push back? Everything in the order here. Let's see. We could do this a little bit later. I think everything for now should be fine. So let's start the pushback. Well, maybe let's start up the APU first. So basically, you press the master switch there. You wait a couple of seconds, and then you press start, and then the APU will start running. And you will see the lower EFP here will actually immediately switch to the APU page. So you should be seeing the exhaust gas temperature start to rise, and the end percentage there should be start to rise as well. The flap is now opened, so now it will start doing its thing. And when you listen outside here in the back, this is the little flap that just opened. There you go. You hear the high whirring sound. Oh, I'm having a little lag here, so this is the APU, basically powering up the aircraft internally. It's a little jet engine in the tail of the aircraft. You just use it to provide power before you can actually use the engines, and then the engines will, after that, you will just use the power from the engines, so you can turn off the APU. Okay, so while that is going on, let's have a look outside. The temperature is 24 degrees. So let's also have a look inside the, where are we? The condition page. So look at this, man, it's 33 degrees here in the flight deck, and we got 26 and 29 in the cabin, so that's a little bit hot, so that's not very comfortable for our passengers. So let's get things a little bit cooler. Let's turn on the APU bleed, which will provide cool air into the cabin and the flight deck. Alright, so the APU is running, so I think we're ready now for a pushback. So we go to the ground services here, I believe. Let's go to the Fenix there on the FB and ground services, and we request the pushback. So the tug will now connect. And probably not a bad idea to disconnect the jetway. We do not need that any longer because all the passengers are on the board. So there goes the jetway now. Thank you very much. And since we are now on internal power, we can also disconnect the external power, like so. The aircraft is now running on its own power entirely. Alright, so if looks everything here, no smoking is on, seatbelt sign is on, the ground spoilers are armed, that's what we want, APU bleed is on, we got a company message that we're not going to check, and the parking brake is set, so that's all looking beautiful. What's the temperature doing now? 21 degrees in the cockpit, 21 and 21, so the entire plane is now at 21 degrees, which is a lot more comfortable than what we started out with. So let's push back now. Quickly check outside and see everything is looking okay or not. Well, not quite. You can see, whoops. See, actually the ground power unit is actually still there, even though we disconnected it. So let's just disconnect it through the EFB here then. That's probably going to work out a little better. Just pull it, start pushing back. Parking brake released. So here we are. Alright, so let's start up engine number 2 to begin with. So we go to ignition start and engine number 2 will now start. We'll just monitor here if it is actually working, you know. I mean, what if it all of a sudden starts, you know, like pooping blue turds or whatever, you know? That's going to be less than desirable, you know. Alright, so let's quickly see if it can take a left turn for us here. So we won't be looking like idiots here on the tarmac. This is going to be a very short taxi. We're just going to be following here to there, onto the runway, and off we go. And the pushback as well, nice and easy, short, good stuff. So I guess we can just stop it now. Should be it. So let's not forget to set the parking brake before we do anything else. You know, you don't want to be sitting in an aircraft with running engines on idle without the parking brake set, you know what I mean. So engine number 2 is now available. Oh, we're almost ready. Let's start up engine number 1 as well. And while we do that, we can put the auto brake on max. This is just for the takeoff, in case we need to reject the takeoff, you know. Then we have full power to the brakes, which is obviously essential to come to a complete stop before the end of the runway is reached, you know. You do not want to be sliding through the cornfields around the airport, you know. So engine number 1 is now starting up as well. Let's turn on the runway turning lights and the nose wheel steering lights as well. Do not have to turn on the landing lights just yet. Temperature for now is looking fine, so we're just going to leave that. And for taxiing, we probably also put this on TARA. And let's put this to all. This is the TCAS system, which will check to see if there's other aircraft above us or below us, or both. And you can see that right here. And the aircraft will take action when there's an aircraft too close. You know, it will either descend or it will go up. Let's see. So engine number 1 is available as well. So that means we are now running on engine power. So we can turn off the APU now. And we can also turn off the APU bleed. We got the taxi lights, so I think I might have to check one thing here before we start. This is something I always need to do. You go to the settings and sim settings actually, you tap there. And controls, incremental thrust handling, that's actually on. Okay, so that's good stuff. That's precisely what we need. Alright, so parking brake released. And let's just in a little bit of power. And get this sucker rolling. So once again, this is the Belgrade International Airport free livery from flightsim.to. I think, let's see, how do we get up to the... Oh, let's just go straight here. We're going straight and then we'll take the second turn to the right. So we'll just get onto the runway. Now this is where a second pair of hands could come in handy, obviously. We need to put on the, you know what, let's just first light up and then we'll turn on the landing lights. Obviously you will need to put on the landing lights before you enter the runway, because you want to be as visible as you possibly can, obviously. Okay, that's the message that the the cabin crew is ready. Well, thank you very much. Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing. Is there a way to...
The cabin is now secure for...
Oops, sorry, yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, so the cabin is now secure for takeoff. Should have a little message here as well, maybe. Not there. Okay, so let's have a look now. Before we take off, landing lights can go on. And then the takeoff lights on as well. And we turn off the air conditioning for a bit. So let's have a little sanity check here. Let's try the takeoff configuration. Slats not in takeoff position. That's true. We did not put the flaps to 1. Let's try that again. I guess the flaps are maybe still traveling. Check this one more time. Takeoff config normal. Okay, so we should be good to go. So let's go to Tivat, everybody. Parking brake released. Let's press on the toe brakes for a bit. And it looks like everything is looking good there. Alright, so let's get this sucker up and going. So we go to flex takeoff temperatures. maximum continuous thrust, MCT. So V1 will be 131, airspeed's now alive. Although it is lagging a little bit, it looks. It is lagging quite a bit. So let's just go ahead and rotate. Right, we got positive rate. Gear up. What is its problem, man? I know the landing gear is not down, it's supposed to be up. Right. So let's turn on the autopilot. And the S-speed there so we can put the flaps up as well, or retract the flaps. Lever should now go to climb. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, thrust lever is to climb now. There we go, let's have a little look outside. Mind your ears, this might be loud. It looks quite windy, I guess. But so there's the airport behind us, and there's the city of Belgrade. Not a lot to see from the air at this moment. Anyway, so we're taking off. See if everything is doing what's supposed to be doing. We're in climb mode. Thrust is set to climb. We are in climb mode. We are using lateral navigation, which is all perfectly what we want. The packs are off, that's correct. So we're going to turn the packs on again, which is the air conditioning. We always turn them off before we take off. So the packs are now re-engaged. We do not need the runway turn-off lights and the nose wheel take-off lights anymore, so we can turn those off. We should actually arm the emergency exit lights, totally forgot to do that. And that's it, we're climbing toward a cruising altitude of 19,000 feet. Let's have a look. We should be at or above 5,000 feet once we reach Bravo Echo 204, but we're already at 6,000. And for now it's actually holding, we should be below 6,000 actually, so it is holding now at 6,000 feet. Which is perfectly fine. It's the VNAV, so the vertical navigation system of the Airbus. It's actually working pretty nicely. It is basically keeping these constraints here in mind. There's another constraint here, 230 knots, and you can see here it is keeping steady at 230 knots. This is part of the standard instrument departure that we are cleared to fly. Usually these are like noise abatement procedures, so that you're not flying too loud and all that stuff, you know what I mean. So this is a good start, if you ask me. So after takeoff check, so we can retract the ground spoilers and the master ignition switch can go back to normal. I'm okay with opening the flight deck now, actually. Let's go. Hey, Carolina. Yes, we're going, man. So we're going to Tivat. I've never flown there before, actually, I should say. So if we look, well, everybody jumped. Crap. So we're going to Tivat, and I've never flown there before. It will be my first time. It will not be an ILS landing, so it's not an automated landing. We will have lateral guidance, but not vertical guidance, meaning the aircraft will follow the correct left-right for the approach, but not the up-down. So for the vertical guidance we need to do it ourselves, but we can, once we arrive, at least make use of the localizer on the runway, so that we are flying the correct center line, you know, so we don't have to worry about that. So then all we have to worry about is basically the vertical guidance, so we descend properly. So let's zoom out a little bit more here on our navigational display. And the next constraint should be 8,000 feet, so I will end to 150 knots, so I believe the speed will start picking up soon, and the aircraft will start climbing momentarily as well. Let's have another look outside here. And there you go. You can hear now the autopilot is putting in some more extra thrust there to reach 250 knots, and also pitch up for a altitude of 8,000 feet. We're probably going to go above it anyway, because we're probably going straight to 19,000 feet, which you can see there in blue, which means that we told the aircraft, hey man, I want you to fly to 19,000 feet. So that's basically what it is going to do, unless it reaches a constraint like it did here. You are not to fly above 6,000, so it was keeping it 6,000 first. But now there is no constraints, and you can see the 8,000 there should be, we're already past the 8,000, so that's good, we're on our way. So is there anything else we can do now after takeoff? We do not have these anymore, seatbelt signs are on. Let's see what is our nose doing. Let's keep the seatbelt signs on for a little bit longer. Let's check the temperature inside the cabin. It's 21 degrees, holding steady. So that's pretty good. It was quite a warm day, I believe. So I believe the passengers will be quite happy. So we're passing 10,000 feet. QNH starts to flash, which means that we should now actually go to the standard air pressure, which is also 1013. But it is now on standard. We do this on both sides, both the pilot flying and the pilot monitoring. So that is set, and when we reach 10,000 feet we are also allowed to turn off the landing lights, which is what we'll do right now. And check our attitude, we're a little below 10 degrees climbing, so we can now turn off the seatbelt signs as well. The no smoking sign will remain on for the duration of the flight, the remainder of the flight. And this is basically our departure. And as I said, it's not going to be a very long flight. It will be about 40 minutes of airtime. So we should get ready already and prepare for what we can expect upon arrival. So let's have a look here. This will be our routing. So we leave from Lima Yankee Bravo Echo, which is Belgrade Airport. Just following along this route to the south, and then there's the beautiful sea at Tivat, where we will be going. So from Olivu we are going to fly the final approach onto Tivat, which is right there, and we will be landing on runway 32. So what I said earlier, it does not have a vertical guidance once we arrive, but it will have a lateral guidance. So that's going to help us line up with the runway heading. And let's have a look, what does it say here for the initial approach. We'll be flying via Podgorica, and then let's have a look, Olivu. So we're flying via Olivu, and then from Olivu we will do the final approach into Tivat runway 32. So at Olivu we should be at a maximum speed of 210 knots, and we should be at or above 5,000 feet. So what will be our first altitude constraint? Is there an altitude constraint here at Podgorica? Doesn't really look like it, so I guess we can go to 5,000 feet anyway. So basically, if we enter Olivu, Let me show you what I mean. So you go to the progress page. It's already asking for enter the destination data because it's going to be a short flight. So we'll do this momentarily. And we go to the progress page. That's right here. And we put in the waypoint of Olivo because we're going to monitor something. Olivo, there you go. Enter that. So Olivo's put in the progress page. So this will now monitor our distance to the Olivo waypoint, and it's basically telling us you are at a distance now of 135 nautical miles. Now we are not yet, or we actually are arriving at 1900, so 19,000 feet. We want to descend to 5,000 feet, which means we are going to be descending 14,000 feet in total. Now the calculation will be 14 times 3, which is 42. You add 1, like 43. So 43 nautical miles before Olivo, we should start our descent. That is something that we can monitor ourselves, but the aircraft system will also tell us when to start the descent. If we increase the distance here on the navigational display, you can see this little white arrow going down. This is basically the point where the aircraft will start descending. But it's good to have this check here and to also have the check here on the progress page, I guess. And we could maybe put a little ring around the runway 32, but let's worry about that later. Basically it was asking here now, it's telling us there's a speed error at Sorak, so let's have a look at the flight plan. It's probably saying, man, I'm not going to be able to get that speed there. So 250, 260, that makes sense. It should not be 265 there probably. So what we can do to get rid of that is just enter 250 and the forward slash and then put nothing, so it will remain the same there. And then just click on the Sorak. And we enter it. Does not look like it did anything. I'm going to worry about that later. First things first, we go to the performance page. It was asking us, let's get rid of the speed error there. It's saying enter destination data. So we go to the approach page here and we enter some data that's crucial for our arrival. So we go to my flights and let's go to the weather. And you go to the arrival airport, which is Lima Yankee Tango Victor. We have a bit of information that we need. Basically what we are interested in is the wind. It's coming from 240 and the speed will be 6 knots. And we'll be interested, there's the local temperatures, 26 degrees and QNH 1013. So we got 240 at 6, 26 degrees and 1013. So QNH 1013. You just go ahead, you type it in and you put it in the QNH box there. Temperature will be 26 degrees, which is very nice when you're at the sea, man, I can tell you that. I think the wind, we can leave it like this. It's picking up for now. It's saying here 274 at 6 and it's at here 240 at 6. Let's just enter 240 at 6, see if that's going to accept. 240 degrees at 6 knots. It's overriding, that's cool. Transition altitude, flight level 100. Final will be localizer for runway 32. Now it's asking for the barometric altitude for, this is your decision altitude. So let's have a look at the airport charts for Tivat. So you go to the airports button here. We have now the airports. Go to the charts. Once you're at the charts, you have an option of approach. this will be our approach. Let's put a pin in it, so it will remain here below. I click correctly, there you go. Alright, so this chart will give us the information that we need to orient ourselves and prepare ourselves for the final approach. Let's zoom in here and have a look. Straight in landing. See, decision altitude 1300. I believe 1280. Not always really sure which one is which, so 1300 or 1280. I think height is radio altitude. Barrow will be 1300. So barometric altitude will be 1300 feet. So once we reach 1300 feet and we cannot see visually the runway, we should do a go around. That is basically what this, I believe what this should mean. Okay, we're going to be doing a full flap landing. So I think all the information that we need is entered. Flight transition flight level 100. We can see if we can confirm that as well. This information is always on the charts. Airport elevation is at 20 feet. Transition altitude 10,000 feet. There you go. And the Airbus is a really smart aircraft. It will already know if there is an ILS frequency, it will already put in the frequency and everything. It should also put in the runway heading. So runway 32 is at a heading of 334 degrees. And this should actually already be in, but we might not be able to see it just yet. 334, let's see, course 334 degrees, that's already put in, slope minus 3.0. So we need to do a 3 degree down, nose down approach. So all the information there is in. Let's go to the progress page. So as we said, from 34 nautical miles, 43 nautical miles before LYBE, we should start our descent. And we can also cross-check it with the arrow right there. Check the flight plan page real quick. So we got Lima Yankee Tango Victor 32. So let's put a little circle around it. Sorry. You go to fix info. You enter the airport runway. So Lima Yankee Tango Victor and 32, which is the runway designator for this airport. You put it in there. It will say, okay, I know what I know who you're talking about, but now what, you know? And you can say, well, I want to draw a circle around it, radius. Sure, man. So what will be the distance? What will be the size of the circle? You can then say, for instance, well, I would like a circle at maybe like 4 nautical miles, or you could maybe say, let's do 15 nautical miles. You put that in, and then it's going to draw a little circle around the runway, meaning that, you know, this is going to help you visually once you're navigating, and you will sort of know, okay, I'm now at the 15 nautical mile distance from the airport. This kind of stuff can really help, and you can also put in, for instance, 4 nautical miles in case you want to drop your gear only at 4 nautical miles distance, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so there is that. So basically what we're doing now, we are at cruise altitude, we are cruising speed, and we're just waiting for, we're just sitting here. This is one of the shortest flights, you know, probably especially in this region. There's some really short flights, like another really short flights, for instance, if you go from London to Amsterdam, from the United Kingdom to the Netherlands, that is also a very short flight. So there are sometimes these really short flights, you know. It's not like, you know, it's not like going from Frankfurt to Hong Kong, you know. It's going to be like a long haul, you know, but these are really short, nice little cute flights. So, aircraft looks like it's still flying. That's always good. When you're an airliner, you know, you preferably keep flying, you know what I mean. Fuel on board 3860 kilograms. We have definitely burned some fuel there. We're still on the no smoking, but I must admit I just lit a cigarette here. And we're still at standard. We got the localizer 32. Yeah, so now basically we just see whatever we can do to prepare, so to decrease our workload once we arrive, because the moment you arrive, all of a sudden a lot of things start happening at once. So we have entered the radius there, and I guess we can leave this page. We can maybe go to the, let's go to the progress page. We're at 59 nautical miles from Olivo. We should be getting ready for the descent in a little bit. And I guess this all still should be fine. So we got a couple of minutes left. So now that we have a couple of minutes left, why not play around a little bit? I mean, I am the funky sim pilot after all. Cruising here, man. Alright, let's see 1 minute of real-time live in-flight entertainment. Alright. So the aircraft's still navigating. It's always good to see. So the weather conditions are perfect. It's just beautiful weather. There's just a couple of clouds there, but you know, nothing to worry about at all. It's a nice looking area actually. Is probably filled with snakes and all kinds of ravens and birds of prey. I wouldn't mind having a little hiking down here, I must say. Okay, so we're at 50 nautical miles from Olivo. Olivo will be our we should be at 5,000 feet once we reach Olivo. And you can see it's getting crowded here, so we are definitely getting closer. Maybe we can decrease the zoom a little bit. Zoom factor or whatever you want to call it. So in about 19 nautical miles, or 10 or 9 nautical miles actually, we should probably start our descent. We calculated 43, this is at 46. So what we can do now, we are still flying 19,000 feet. we put this to 5,000. We're just going to dive straight to 5,000. We're not going to engage yet. I'm just going to wait for the little symbol there, or we might be even a little earlier, the way we calculate ourselves. Let's have a look at the wind. We have a little headwind there, giggity. So we could maybe descend a little bit later, and probably that's why it is not sitting at 43 nautical miles, but let's do it anyway. So just we're ahead of things, you know. We're at 41, so let's definitely start our descent now. So we now choose 5,000 feet. And you can see now the aircraft is saying, okay, I'm going to put the thrust into idle, and we're an open descent. So we're descending now to 5,000 feet. Let's have another look at the weather conditions. See if there's any significant changes. So the wind direction has changed a little bit, and it's a little bit less. It's now at, coming from 230 at 4 knots. Temperature is still 26 degrees, QNH still 1013, so 230 at 4. So let's update the performance page. So 230 at 4, so we enter 230 degrees at a speed of 4 knots. And we overwrite it just like that. So we have our page updated. Our velocity, our approach speed will be 132 knots. Check. Okay. Yeah. So there's the sea. Look at that, people. Let's check the altitude, 16,000 feet. So maybe let's just strap in the passengers in a moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're currently at an altitude of 16,000 feet, and we're descending to our final destination, Tivat Airport. We should be arriving at Tivat Airport, well, in about approximately in about 10 minutes or so. The temperature locally will be to the 26 degrees centigrade. It will be beautiful weather, just a couple of clouds at 3,000 feet. We hope you enjoyed your flight with Air Serbia, and we hope to see you again sometime soon. On behalf of the crew, thank you for flying. Alright, so let's turn on the seatbelt sign here. You could maybe also start up the APU. So you wait a couple of seconds and then you press start. We're just pre-starting it the moment that we turn off the engines, that we still have, we still have running systems. We're still in open descent, 14,000 feet. I'm curious how it's going to go. I'm not sure if we should be using, I'm not too familiar with using the track FPA. See what happens if we click it. No. Okay, let's just put a 3.0. Okay, let's just keep it like this. Okay, let's see if anything drastically changed. We're still open descent, thrust idle. We're still following navigation, so this is all still good. And so maybe we might actually try using that because we do not have an ILS. We only have a horizontal guidance from the localizer. We can turn on the landing system. But I'm not really sure. It's probably just going to show the localizer then. It's picking up, I think, TRV. 21.4 nautical miles. Let's have a little sip. speed is still a little bit high because you should be 10,000, below 10,000 feet we should be at 250 knots max. You can see the constraint there as well. Let's zoom in a little bit. So at Sorek we should be at 250 knots and above 5,000 feet. Then 210 knots at Olival and above 5,000 feet. Okay, so 10,000 feet is coming up, so let's turn on the landing lights now. Left and the right side. APU is available. We're not going to start it up yet, we do not really need it at this moment. My apologies. And always like in Microsoft Flight Simulator, when you're in the open descent in the Airbus, like we are now, the engines are at idle, so they're not really, you know, they're just idling, and that's it. So it's not very noisy, you know. Let's have a look at that, look around the area. It's a beautiful lake here. I've never been here in real life, also never flown here in the simulator either. So I'm curious to see. I was told by a lovely, beautiful lady that this is going to be an interesting approach. So, you know, okay, so we are passing 10,000 feet, which is the transition altitude. So we should now go to local altimeter, which is actually also 1013, but let's do it nonetheless. Let's have one final update on the weather. 2304 knots, 26 degrees and 1013, so nothing has changed. So that bit is good. Now let us do a couple of things. Let's lock the flight deck door here and arm the ground spoilers. And for engine engagement we put the ignition to start, the ignition start button to the right. Flaps you do not need quite yet, and anything else. Let's also maybe turn on the auto braking. They can just go to low, it will not be too interesting, I assume. Right, so we're definitely getting closer here. We're reaching Olival and we wanted to be at around 5,000 feet, and looks like we're not making that. See if we can expedite real quick. However, what is our speed? I'm not really sure. 4,000. Let's go to 4,000 and expedite. And we might need to put in some brake. Let's put in some speed brake, if you will, please. Oh, come on, man. This kind of stuff can be so extremely tedious in Flight Simulator sometimes. You lose so much time sometimes, just, you know, using the mouse and insane. Okay, so we are actually quite high. This does not look too great. Let's see how this is going to work out. We are expediting, so should be okay. And the next stop will be 2600, so we're going to put that in as well. Hopefully we'll not be going too fast there. Looks like we might make it, but we are definitely overspeeding all, I mean at least breaking some rules. And like it through ADHD Funky Sim Pilot, this is the perfect timing to quickly light a cigarette. Alright, so what are we looking at? 10,000, we're at 10 nautical miles. We are almost good to go there. So let us speed brake, go back. That's what I mean, like you're losing serious time there. Alright, because things are happening, lots of things are happening at once here. Alright, so we are on the approach. It's definitely an interesting looking approach, man. Look at this. And as I said, I've never flown it before, so I'm not really sure what to expect. Next up is 1650. Let's just do that as well. Let's put in 1600 feet. And we can go flap 1, I think. Let's turn on the runway turn-off lights. There's a bit of turbulence here, but that's to be expected when you're flying between these in the elevated areas. So this is definitely an interesting approach. See, can we turn on the localizers? That would be very nice. Localizer is armed, but it's not yet picking up. It is now armed. It is now picking up the localizer. That's good news. Flaps to the number 2 setting. Does not really look like we're descending, and there's the airport, so I think this is definitely not going to work out. Now I did not check the go-around procedure, and I'm not used to flying go-arounds. But looking at this, we're not going to be making this at all. So, can we tell the autopilot to go around maybe? Not really sure how this works, but there's the airport, and as you can see, we're definitely not going to be making this. So what we'll do is we go to 4,000 feet. Flaps go up. And disengage the autopilot for a second there. And do a little bit of head flying. Nose up. And see what this is going to do for us. It's something I never really do in the Airbus, just hand fly it, but something, you know, you need to be able to do, obviously. Let's put the thrust to climb, see if we can get away with that. Just see if we can hand fly the go around. And so it looks, I think we're just going to be trying a visual approach. And as you could see, we ended up a little too high, regardless of what we tried to plan out initially. And this is probably not the best time to check the charts, but let's do it real quick. Go around is basically here until Lasty. Okay. Let's for now just follow the blue little line there. I think I can extend the flaps to the 1 position. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. As we were not stable on the approach, we decided to do a go around, and we will come around for a second attempt. Please remain seated and keep your seatbelt sign. Keep your seatbelts on until the seatbelt signs have turned off. We are landing momentarily. Okay, so let's have a look what this saying goes. It's basically saying because the autopilot is off. Well, it's acknowledged. We already knew that. Let's go to the flaps too. Maybe turn off the auto thrust engine. So I guess now we're just totally hand flying this sucker. Now I wonder what is going to happen if we oops, not sure that's what I wanted. I wonder what's going to happen if we now tell the aircraft to follow the navigation. Could maybe try auto thrust and autopilot. Now, well, what will it do? Will it actually fly the go around? There's lever to climb. I know. Stop whining. It just turned off the autopilot. Let's kill the master switch warning there. Oh, it's an overspeed warning.
Tank rate.
Oh.
Tank rate.
Okay, so that's probably a bad idea there.
Tank rate.
Okay, autopilot is off. Okay, let's not use the autopilot. Let's just see if we can hand fly this. Engine thrust locked, thrust levers move. Let's see. Let's climb, I guess. Should be fine. Let's maybe increase the fuel here. Let's see if we can simply just follow the instructions on the navigational display. So, I would not be wanting to be sitting in the back, I can tell you that. Get rid of this altitude sound, we do not need that anymore. So yeah, these are totally different aircraft to fly when you're used to, for instance, flying, general aviation. All of a sudden it's like, oh, things are going really quick, really fast, you know. I mean, it's like two heavy engines, a big heavy airplane. So things can go change really quickly, Our speed is absolutely high there. So let's try and get some things back under control. Let's see if we choose auto thrust. And then we change the speed ourselves. We manage it via the control here. For instance, we say let's go to 210 knots, because obviously we're now... this is stuff I hate. It's so slow, man. It's insane. Like, I have to look here and cannot look anywhere else, so I might just be flying into a dock or something. Okay, speed 210 knots. and probably requires us to go to the climb detent. So let's do that. This is the altitude warning, which is fine. And then maybe let's put in an altitude of, let's go for 2,000 feet. Should probably be okay here. Let's start with 3,000. Okay, so 3,000 feet, and we will be flying our current heading. And then we can turn on the autopilot, I guess. So I think now the aircraft should be starting to do what we wanted to do. Let's have a look at what's going on. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting approach, I can tell you now. And I hope I do not get us lost. Let's go to Lasti. And is there a way to do a direct to Lasti? Should be. Direct. We just entered it by the scratch pad. Direct to Lasti. Can we enter it there? There we go. Direct. Too steep path ahead. Well, we'll worry about that later. At least it is helping us find our way to Lasti. And then from Lasti, let's have a look real quick here. Lasti is basically straight onto the straight on the approach path. So we have let's arm the localizer. And can we descend to 2,000 feet? See if this is going to work out for us. Lastly, we should be actually 6,000 feet. So, well, let's do that then. Let's try and be, you know, responsible pilots here. 6,000 feet. Soon on descent to 6,000. Our speed is holding. I think we can put in one flap there. Then after Lasti, it would be nice. Too steep path ahead. Yeah, sure. That's okay. So this should line us up again with the runway. Zoom in a little bit. So now I'm actually quite glad that we had put in the fix around the runway there. So 15 nautical miles. So that's our runway. We're going Lasti, and then from there we should actually go to the runway. We have armed the localizer, but the signal is not yet picking up. We are. It does pick up the frequency, but it does not pick up yet the DME, so the distance to the localizer. But this is at least this is a more stable stable approach than anything we had in the last minutes. So let's have a look here at Lasti. After that we go to Gosud, 4,000 feet, and this is actually going really quick. So I'm not really sure how to do this at these speeds. Speed's holding steady at 210 knots. Once we reach Lasti, let's see, 220 knots there is fine. Let's see if we can get rid of the flight plan discontinuity there. Let's see what that's going to do. Too steep path, 6,000. I don't know. The challenges are there to make us wiser in the end, and YouTube channels are there to make us look like idiots. So it's a win-win. So we're definitely going to be flying this sometime again. Let's see, the localizer is armed. It has now a DME of 22.2 nautical miles. We are 3.9 nautical miles from Ulasti. So it will be, let's have this, here, speed, altitude, navigation. So after Ulasti, it's not really going to be doing anything. So let's see, can we, no. So we might have to do a little bit of hand flying, not really sure. Let's just maybe carry on here. This is our current, localizer is, there you go, there's our localizer. So let's now go to track FPA and go to 2000 feet. For a descent of minus 3.0 degrees. See if this is going to work. This looks like the localizer is picking up. We are not descending, and we should be now. Open descent, thrust idle. Alright. See what this is going to do. 60 nautical miles out. I'm not sure if the track FPA should be doing this right now. So if you look here, we're going to be flying here, and there is the, I think there is the runway. So it's definitely a very interesting approach for sure. Let's reduce our speed. Let's go for, you know what, let's just go 160. I think that's perfectly fine now. We're 11 nautical miles out. But you are descending not quite fast enough, if you ask me. So let's do expedite. See what this will do for us. See if we can drop the gear now. And we're getting a little close to the hills here. So disengage the autopilot. Just go totally rogue now.
Terrain ahead.
There's terrain, okay.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Copy. Continuing.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Terrain ahead.
Yeah, so this is absolutely an interesting approach. So we definitely flying this against the time and preparing a little bit more. Let's see if we can do this, people. Let's put the auto brake to max, because not really sure what to expect here. You are not stable at all. So we're going full flaps. Basically we're head flying this sucker now. A little bit high, I guess. Alright, man. So let's do this.
100 above.
100 above. Continuing.
Minimum 1000.
This is somewhat of a steep approach, but I think we should not be able to handle. See if the ground spoilers are armed. They are not, so let's quickly arm them.
Sync rate.
Yes, this is definitely a very dangerous approach.
40, 30, 20. Retard.
What are you calling retard?
5.
Okay, reversers are out. Stay on the center line. Reversers. Oh, so there are the reversers. Well, we no longer need them. Alright, man. Welcome to Tivat Airport, everybody. This was a very embarrassing approach and landing, but we made it nonetheless. However, this will not win any kind of beauty contest. But here we are. So again, welcome to Tivat. Hope you enjoyed your flight. We have very interesting psychological support, mental support. So if you have PTSD after this landing, then feel free to make use of our free mental health professionals to help you overcome experiences that our pilot just put you through. And I think I see that this is totally not working. Look at this. But this is actually, I already saw that there were some, like, what you call them, like upgrades for the Tivat airport, so that the runway, the taxiways look normal. Because as you can see, you cannot follow the yellow line here, due to the wingspan, you know. So retract the ground spoilers there. So this is obviously not very realistic. So I will probably on the next flight also have use the updated airport, so that things will look normal, because this is obviously not what is true to life, right? Anyway, we are here, so let's just go and park ourselves right here. And we're just going to leave it like this. So the parking brake is set. Let's get everybody out. Let's first turn off the engines. Engine number 2. And let's start the APU then. Landing lights can go off. And so can the nose wheel steering lights and the runway turn off lights. And the seatbelt signs can go off as well, so everybody is free to run away now. Ground services, do we have air stairs perhaps? There you go, so let's open the doors then. Left. Go. Probably giving us a warning. Well, it's probably not very safe to open the doors when the engines are still running. For pretty obvious reasons, right? Okay, so the aircraft is now powering down. Let's have a look outside. Let's turn the other way. So yeah, this is Montenegro, and it does look like a very nice area here, right next to the sea. It looks like we made it in one piece, but it was, as I said, it was an interesting landing for sure. So yeah, that's it. All right, so that concludes today's flight, everybody. We're not going to be waiting for all the passengers to deboard or anything. So I guess we've done enough damage for now. Right now I'm going to visit my mother to repel some evil pigeons from her balcony. You know, because stuff like that needs to happen as well. We need to take care of our sweet mothers. So that's it. Once again, welcome to Tivat. Thank you for checking the video, everybody. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and all that miserable crap, you know, feed the algorithm with any kind of crap that you want, so that it can mess up your life. Basically, you know, it's like, which platform would you prefer your advertisements on? Because, you know, your only purpose in life is to be advertised to, you know what I mean. So anyway, thanks again for checking. Hope to see you again soon on the channel. Everybody stay funky and see you next time. Bye bye.